to the sun.
Okay guys, I'm kinda gonna hope that this video is less depressing than the last one, cause oh my gosh, last time was very hard to watch, basically.
System message. Connection lost. The pocket watch clicked open. I can't stay in here. The vision mirror broadcasted the Ignis siblings, healed and standing in the middle of the arena. The arena is clean and no bodies remained. The crowd continued to chant, Ignis, Ignis, Ignis. Sol still smiled broadly. He killed someone. Luthor
Yep.
paused and glanced at Sol's smile. Yet, he keeps going with a smile. And me? If I could get over killing Lieutenant Zone Val Sulry, then maybe I could have found a cure to the Valdorian disease by now.
It's not your fault. You shouldn't be okay with killing. Like, the fact that you're not okay with killing makes you a better person than he could ever be.
If I had just thrown that water balloon Dr. Fulgar gave me today, then
No.
maybe I could have set humans free.
Yeah, but like, at what cost? You would have freaking killed another person. You would have killing. The means don't justify the end.
Luthor swallowed hard. If I just killed myself, maybe I could be talking to the Time Manipulator and Model 1.
No.
Luthor's voice trailed off as he scratched his arm hard, leaving marks. But I'm me. I couldn't do any of those things.
That's because you're a good person and you understand what you're doing.
Maybe someone like me will never get what he wants in this world. Luthor shook his head and turned away from Sol's smile on the vision mirror. I can't stay in here.
Yeah, I don't know how you've survived this long.
Luthor pressed his hands against the wall. I fumbled around in the darkness by myself, but haven't made much progress. All I know is that the walls feel extremely cold and smooth, like Irelium. The cell walls are probably made of the Irelium I made for Janos. Luthor sighed and shook his head. The upside is, there should be a small vent somewhere in here. I always found it strange that Janos wanted a bunch of rooms made fully of Irelium without any windows. I remember Dad designed those rooms to be practically airtight with the exception of a small vent. If I can't find that vent, I can try escaping with Malak air. Luthor paused. Then I can look for Model 1. Valdorians won't have time to dispose of Model 1 until after the trials. Luthor shined the pocket watch on the wall of the room as he examined it.
Okay, that's actually so good. You could actually, like, save Model 1. Oh my gosh, guys. Model 1 can still be saved. Oh my gosh.
Will you help me? The pocket watch might be able to sense the vent. System
I'll
message.
try.
Of course I will help you. I'll let you know if the watch tells me anything useful. 1 of 3. Don't be too hard on yourself. You're good the way you are. 2 of... I'll help you after we watch the end of the trials. 3 of 3. Don't be too hard on yourself. You're good the way you are.
I want to say the second one, but I also want to say the first one. So,
Of course I will help you. I'll let you know if the watch tells me anything useful.
I'll pick the second
Don't be too hard on yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. Responded, don't be too hard on yourself. You're good the way you are. Luthor fell silent for a moment. He ran his thumb across the face of the watch. Will you help me?
I will.
System met. Of course I will help you. I'll let you know if the watch tells me anything useful. 1 of 2 response. I'll help you out.
Oh my gosh,
Of
yes,
cour-
it lets me press both of them.
Of course I will help you.
Okay,
Of course.
that's a nice achievement, I guess.
Responded, of course I will help you. I'll let you know if the watch tells me anything useful. Luthor stopped for a moment and looked down at the watch. He breathed in and smiled. Thank you. It means a lot that you're helping me.
You're welcome.
Luthor kept the watch near the wall as he explored. Descriptive. Luthor kept the watch near the wall as he explored. Two Valdorian guards marched past Luthor's cell.
Oh my gosh, it's giving me even more description than what's in the cell.
Luthor continued to explore. High Mage Val Elder could be heard saying, "Congratulations for passing the first round, Scarlet and Sol Ignis." Scarlet's voice could be heard saying, excuse me, High Mage Val Elder, ellipsis. Scarlet's voice sounded hoarse and shaky. She said, "Do you know the last names of Amelia or Kaylee? Please, ellipsis, I would like to know what they are." Luthor stopped and looked back at the mirror. Descriptive. Luthor stopped and looked back at the mirror.
It's kind of random to ask.
Val Elder is floating above the Ignis siblings inside the arena, looking down at them from over the bridge of his nose.
As he does, apparently.
Sol glanced briefly over at the spot where he burned the participant with tree trunk legs before he lowered his gaze and crossed his arms. The script. Saul glanced brief. Val Ellider frowned at Scarlet. He said, the names of the dead no longer matter inside this arena. Continuing to feel for them now will only hold you back.
Yeah, it sounds like something you would say.
Val Ellider looked around the stadium and said, since we only have 2 participants left, the final round of tonight's trials will be a death match. The crowd cheered. Scarlet lifted one hand and covered her mouth as Sal's jaw dropped.
That's... What? They're siblings! Oh my gosh, that's... Oh my...
Val Ellider said, no magic is allowed in this death match. We saw the magical potentials of our participants last round and now we will see how they fare without magic. Val Ellider said, each participant will receive a dagger. The dagger doesn't have to be used, but whichever participant successfully kills the other will win.
That is so dark! Oh my gosh, imagine having to kill your sibling to enter, like, the freaking Valdorian army. Like, what? Oh my... I swear, if Saul actually agrees to this, yeah, that's just too far. Like, he already kind of went over the line, and if he agrees to this, yeah.
Luthor turned away and continued to explore the wall. A vent was directly above Luthor. System
Oh my
message.
yes.
Stop, Luthor. There is a vent directly above you.
The way my voiceover sounds so, like, I don't know, hurried.
Descriptive help. Stop, Luthor. There is a vent directly above you. Responded.
It's so emphatic, oh my gosh, okay.
Luthor nodded as he tilted his head up in the darkness. I can't see it, but I'm going to go up there and explore the vent.
You're welcome.
If the vent doesn't go through, I'll just come back down.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Luthor placed the pocket watch inside his inner jacket pocket. Levitas Magnus, like air. Luthor changed into a gust of air and blew upwards. Descriptive help. Luthor changed into a gust of air and blew upwards. He went straight up, travelling along the wall until he reached the vent. Descriptive. He went straight up, travelling along the wall until he reached the vent. Descriptive help. A barrier blocked Luthor's wind form from entering into the vent. Luthor changed directions and started to come back down.
Oh no, that's... No.
He changed back mid-air and fell back to the floor of the room.
Ah!
Luthor sighed as he got up from the floor. Valdorians seem to love high walls. Luthor took the pocket watch out of his jacket. Descriptive, and it figures they would put a barrier on the vent.
Yeah, it doesn't help us much though.
Luthor paused. I noticed there are glowing liquid irelium particles inside the vent.
That's random. Why? I don't know. Wouldn't that obstruct airflow or whatever?
I wonder if there is a reason I've been put in this room. Sol can be heard from the vision mirror saying, excuse me, High Mage Val Ellider. Can we just hurt each other instead of kill? The crowd roared with disappointment.
These people are genuinely just ruthless. Like, okay, at least Saul isn't agreeing to it or, like, happy, like, for it. But, like, still, the crowd. Like, they're siblings. Guys, what is wrong with you?
Luthor glanced over his shoulder at the vision mirror. Saul said, ellipsis, we'll rough each other up really bad. I'll make it hurt more than dying. The crowd roared with disappointment. Saul looked more and more frustrated as the crowd continued to utter their disapproval. He waved his hand at Scarlet and said, not sure if anyone here knows, but Scarlet is my sister. Saul shouted, Scarlet is my sister. You all want me to kill my own sister.
Exactly.
What kind of monster would do that?
Yeah, literally.
Val Ellider said, Saul Ignis, you're starting to remind me of Luthor Timecrest.
Who... No, don't tell me there's actually been people that have killed their siblings before. Like, no matter how much you, like, I don't know, like, your siblings can be annoying sometimes, you don't freaking kill them. Oh my gosh. This guy is actually insane.
Saul shouted, I'm nothing like that bastard. I'm here and he's not. If only I killed Scarlet. Ellipsis.
No. Scarlet is a nice person and killing is wrong.
System message. What are you saying, Luthor? 1 of 3. I'm glad you didn't kill her. 2 of 3. It's too late to regret it now. 3. I'm glad you didn't kill her. 2 of 3. Responded. Descriptive. Luthor blinked as he looked back at the pocket watch.
Killing is wrong.
He nodded.
Yes.
I can't believe what I just said.
It's a bit harsh, you know.
He swallowed hard. I'm glad too. I'm so glad I didn't kill Scarlet.
Okay, at least he's like, I don't know, repentant.
Luthor took a deep breath and continued to explore her cell, holding the pocket watch near the wall as he pressed around in the darkness.
What are you expecting to find? Another
A man
vent?
with a scar vertically crossing his left eye stood.
Wait.
A man with a scar vertically crossing his left eye stood in front of Luthor's cell.
Interesting.
The man was tall and broad. He appeared well groomed, but was feral in posture and an expression with a maniacal smile spread across his face.
Yeah, I don't want to encounter that guy. Oh my gosh, what's he planning to do?
Do you notice anything else?
Yeah, the weird, creepy guy outside your cell who's, I don't know what he's doing.
The man took out a dagger and licked the blade. He pressed against the cell, dragging the dagger along the wall and forming the letter T.
I'm very confused.
Luthor paused and pressed himself against the wall. I hear scratching sounds.
Yeah, they're, you don't want to know.
Luthor glanced at the pocket watch in his hand. Hey, are you still there?
Yep.
Did the pocket watch describe anything about the scratching sounds?
It did. It sure did.
System mess. Yeah. There's a man outside with a scar across his eyes. He has a dagger, and he's carving the letter T on the wall of your cell. I'm not sure what to make of him, but I wanted to let you know what the pocket watch told me. One of two No. Nothing out of the
That's a blatant lie. No. Okay,
Yeah. There's a man outside with a scar
Okay.
across his... Yeah. There's a man... Message...
that's a long response. That's a very long response. Okay.
Responded. Yeah. There's a man outside with a scar across his eyes. Luthor paused and looked forward in the darkness. Luthor traced the letter T with his finger on the inside wall. Could he know something about Kronos?
I mean, I know I said no last time, but like that other guy did, so. You know what? Every time we come across someone who might remotely know anything about anyone, I'm just gonna assume that they do, You know, we were right last time, so.
2 Valdorian guards came running towards the man with the scarred eye.
Oh. Okay, well, no, with, I mean, I wasn't right the last time, so, I don't know. Luthor
They
was
grabbed
right.
the man by the arms and started dragging him away.
Who is that guy? That's so weird.
The man let himself be dragged, but continued to look back at Luthor's cell.
He is so weird.
System message. Luthor. Guards are dragging the man away. One of one descript. Luthor. Guards are dragging the man away. Responded. Luthor. Guards are dragging the man away. He might be dangerous, but I want to find out who he is. Let's hope he can hear me.
What is he planning to do?
Luthor pressed himself against the wall. Hey, why were you standing outside my cell?
Huh.
The man snarled at the sound of Luthor's voice.
Yeah, this is a very bad idea.
Do you know something about Kronos Timecrest too? The man's eyes widened as he heard Timecrest and he broke away from the guards.
Yeah, this is an astronomically bad idea.
The guards tried to restrain the man again, but the man shoved his dagger into the stomach of one guard,
Oh my-
punching straight through the guard's heavy armor with the dagger and his hand. The guard sank to the ground as blood poured from his wound.
Oh my gosh, this guy. Yeah, Luthor, that's a very bad idea.
The other guard didn't back down, so the man picked him up and flung him against the wall.
Oh my.
Both guards lay in lifeless heaps on the ground, their fates uncertain.
This is, very bad.
Something is happening.
Yeah, no kidding.
What's going on out there? System, be careful. Luthor, that man might have just killed 2 guards. One of one responses.
Yep.
But be careful. Luthor responded, be careful. Luthor. The man began punching Luthor's cell with vigor.
This is very bad, Luthor. You should really somehow get out of there. Like, yeah, this is,
The force of the punches sent shockwaves through the wall.
This
hitting
is-
Luthor and knocking him back.
Oh no. This is not good. This is so not good. Oh my god.
Luthor clutched his chest in pain as he lowered himself to the ground and braced himself. Another shockwave shattered the vision mirror.
This is very bad.
King Jackal said, enough, Jackal.
Okay.
Jackal stopped punching Luthor's cell, but continued to stare directly at it with his fists raised. System mess. Janos stopped the man from attacking you. One of one responses.
That sounds like the
Janos-
most insane thing you could say at this point. Well, I could say at this point, but,
Janos. Ellipsis.
Yep. The very man himself, for some reason. Don't ask why, because I don't know.
Luthor nodded. Thanks. I thought I heard him, but his voice sounded muffled coming through the wall, so I wasn't sure. Luthor pushed himself up off the ground and staggered over to the wall. He pressed himself against it. Messages. Luthor pushed himself up off the ground and staggered over to the wall. He pressed himself against it. Janos said, come to me, Jackal. Jackal scowled at Luthor's cell before dropping his fists and making his way to the king. Janos waved one hand at the wounded guards and said, Jackal, look at what you did to our family. Jackal's shoulders slumped as he looked at the guards he had beaten down. Descriptive help. Jackal's shoulders slumped as he looked at the guards he had beaten down. Janos put one hand on Jackal's arm and said, It's okay. You have every right to want the Timecrest dead.
What? What is going on?
Jackal began to snarl as he heard the word Timecrest, but Janos gave his arm a squeeze and Jackal calmed down again. Janos said, But you hurt our family and you need to fix this. Janos said, But you hurt our family and you need to fix this. Use Rule Breaker Sana.
I thought rule breakers were forbidden.
Luthor arched his brow. Jackal shook his head violently. Janos said, Seeing the damage you caused, Sana is probably the only thing that can save these men. He said, I know those machines scare you, but that's your punishment for hurting our people, Jackal. Janos said, And remember, none of us like to wake up in human technology, so try to take them out of the machine when their wounds have healed enough. Jackal picked up the injured guards and walked away. Jackal picked up the injured guards and walked away. Posture slumped dejectedly. Janos stood in front of Luthor's cell. System message. Janos is in front of you. Luthor. 1 of 2 respond. What is Rule of Breaker Sana? 2 of 2.
I don't know. Should I be helpful or just say something random? I guess I'll say something random, you know? I've
Janos
been
is in
too
front of you.
helpful.
Luthor.
The part of my brain that's helpful is tired now, okay?
Luthor murmured. Rule of Breaker Sana is another widely known Rule of Breaker machine. Sana can heal almost any ailment or wound as long as people are left in the machine for long enough.
Anything! Oh my god, anything! That is actually amazing.
The only things it can't heal are pretty much just death and the Valdorian disease.
Wow. Well, we definitely don't have that. I don't know where they got this. Like, it's definitely not human technology, at least not from this timeline. Like, that's... wow.
Luthor paused. I can't hear Janos. Is he still there? System message.
Okay, have to be helpful again. Okay, I'm kidding. Anyway.
Janos is in front of you. Luthor. 1 of 1 response.
I love when like, you're able to pick both responses, kind of. Like, you don't pick one and then it lets you pick it later.
Messages.
I don't know.
Responded.
It's nice.
Luthor nodded. Descriptive help. Luthor and Janos are facing each other, with the wall between them.
That's kind of... I don't know.
Luthor took a deep breath. Janos. You authorize the use of a Rule Breaker to heal your guards. Descriptive. You authorize the use of a Rule Breaker. If you still rely on human technology, why do you want to riddle insane humans?
Very good question, Luthor.
Janos didn't reply, but continued to stand in front of Luthor's cell. Who is Jackal? He was carving a T on my cell. Luthor stood silently in the dark as he waited for Janos to reply. Luthor knocked on the wall. Are you still there, Janos? Janos remained silent. Descriptive help. Luthor knocked on the wall again.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who is Jackal? He went crazy when I mentioned Kronos Timecrest.
Some insane person. I don't know. Jackal's weird.
Janos said, Jackal is my son with King Reinhardt's daughter.
What?
Luthor looked stunned. You were part of the Reinhardt Empire? Janos said, Valdor was at risk of being eliminated. Janos' tone grew harsh as he said, I married off to form an alliance with Reinhardt. Luthor stood silently in the darkness, letting Janos' words sink in. King Reinhardt's daughter was murdered by her husband. Did you kill her? Descriptive help. King Reinhardt's daughter was murdered by her. Janos said, I was framed for her death. She loved me. I loved another. She was angry enough about it to take her own life to get back at me.
Wow. This is even more of a plot twist. Like, that Reinhardt Empire that, like, Ash was talking about, I don't even know when. It was ages ago. Like, the one that just fell and, like, in, like, I don't know, it was cursed and all, and then... yeah.
System message. What is the Reinhardt Empire? 1. Can we really expect honesty from Janos? 2 of 2 response.
Probably not.
What is the Reinhardt Empire? 1 of... What?
I know. Don't we know what the Reinhardt Empire is? You know, it wasn't... You know what? I would probably... This can probably explain it better than I can, so, you know, I'll click this, I guess.
What is the Reinhardt Empire? Responded. What is the Reinhardt Empire? Luthor swallowed and murmured. Descriptive. Luthor swallowed and descriptive help. Button. Luthor swallowed and murmured. Most Alanceans have heard of Reinhardt because it was the most powerful empire before Valdor took that title.
Yeah. basically what I was saying.
Luthor took a deep breath. Janos is talking to me. I can't let that go to waste.
Yeah, sorry for, interrupting.
Luthor pressed himself against the wall. What does Reinhardt have to do with Kronos? Janos was silent. Janos was silent. Luthor frowned as he waited.
Hello?
After a while, Janos said, I regret not telling the truth about the Reinhardt Empire back then. Janos said, I was afraid. Descriptive. Janos said, Janos shook his head and said, never mind. I've let my lie go, and so long that the truth doesn't matter anymore. Then why are you even here, telling me all of these things? Janos didn't reply. Luthor pressed his forehead against the wall.
He's very good at that, isn't he, Janos?
You must be here for a reason, Janos. What is it? Janos didn't reply.
Oh my gosh, this guy.
Janos. I always thought you had something against me. Descriptive. I always thought you had something against me. My parents don't believe me. They think it's too silly a thought for you to have a grudge against a teenager. And your High Mage Val Aladar thinks I'm just an insignificant speck to you. Descriptive. And your High Mage Val Aladar thinks, yet, ellipsis, you being behind this wall right now makes me think all over again that I am right. Descriptive help. And if I'm right, then please leave my family out of whatever it is you have against me. Leave other humans out of it and just come after me, Janos.
Janos didn't reply.
Luthor felt his own breathing against the wall as he waited in silence for any kind of response from Janos. Janos. Janos said, you are but a small pawn of a much greater evil, Luthor.
What?
Luthor frowned. Janos said, I would be wasting my time trying to kill you, Luthor, when you can just come back to life. What did you say? Descriptive help. Janos shook his head and said, you know so little about yourself that I pity you. If I die, I can come back to life, right, Janos?
Yes, shockingly.
Janos said, did you know that pocket watch you have can restore itself too? Luthor glanced at the pocket watch.
What? I didn't know that. It can restore itself?
Janos said, in the least, you probably know that the pocket watch tends to follow you around, but I bet you never tried destroying it. Janos said, go ahead and smash it. Janos said, go ahead and smash it. See for yourself that I'm not lying. Luthor pushed himself away from the wall. Okay, I think Janos just told me I can't die.
Very strange, but yes.
Luthor paused. The Time Manipulator said to die in order to speak with him. Janos is telling me I can be revived.
You can, but I mean, at least I think you can. I mean, Ash could, so you can probably.
If what he is saying is true, then maybe the Time Manipulator wasn't asking me to give up my life.
I mean, yeah, but like, it's still a strange request. Like, I still don't get, like, the motives behind it. Like, why not just talk to you now? I don't know what's stopping him.
If Janos is telling the truth. System message. So, are you thinking about dying? One of two. Janos is actually telling the truth right now. 2 of 2 respond.
I'll say the second one.
Janos is actually telling the truth right. Responded. Janos is I've hated this man for most of my life.
I guess he's honest. Who knows? Well, actually, no, he's not, because he lied about the Reinhardt Empire or whatever, but, you know, he's honest when he wants to be.
Luthor shook his head. Thanks.
You're
It helps.
welcome.
Thanks. It helps to hear you say that. Janos is my greatest enemy, but maybe he is also telling the truth. In the least, the things he's saying are pretty interesting to me. Luthor neared the wall and pressed himself against it. Janos, how do you know all of this? Janos didn't reply.
Of course he didn't.
All my life, I wanted to know if Kronos Timecrest was real or just a thought in my head. My father asked you about him. I asked Riley about him. I'm sure she asked you. You invited me to plenty of your parties and you never said a word to me. Descriptive help. Why are you giving me all this free information now?
Yeah, seems like a strange time to do it.
Janos was silent.
Oh my gosh.
Are you here just to talk to me? Or do you want something else in return?
Yeah, what's the big deal here?
Janos turned his head as a Valdorian soldier approached him. Janos said, Hi, Commander Valdem. What is the update? Valdem saluted Janos by raising his wrist and showing off his Valdorian tattoo. Descriptive. Valdem saluted Janos by raising his wrist and showing off his Valdem's voice sounded heavy as he said, The princess is still on the Sovereign Eye asking for Luthor to come alone.
What? What? That's... Okay.
Luthor's eyes widened as he pressed his ears against the wall. Valdem said, The Masters aren't able to break down the mysterious barrier that surrounds her either. Valdor paused before he said, and Princess Ryla's condition is worsening, my king.
Oh my gosh, what's going on? This is, what, Riley? Huh?
What's happening to Riley?
Yeah.
Janos turned back to Luthor's cell and said, Riley is bleeding to death on top of the Sovereign Eye, asking for you.
Oh my gosh, what?
Luthor froze.
Why? What?
Janos said, did you notice something strange when you spoke with my daughter today? Luthor swallowed hard.
That thing? Oh my gosh, yeah, when she stepped on the oh my gosh.
Janos said, Luthor, did you notice something strange with Riley today? Yes. She came to talk me out of the trials, but she behaved strangely at the end of our conversation. Luthor shook his head and swallowed hard. Do you think, ellipsis, do you think the pocket watch did something to Riley?
That is so, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, if the pocket watch actually has something to do with this, that is not, it's not putting me in much favor with this time manipulator fellow.
Janos said, Kronos Timecrest did something to my daughter. I'm sure of it.
Oh my gosh, well, I don't know. If that's true, then that's kinda... I don't know, I honestly don't get this. This is weird.
Luthor squeezed the pocket watch. What do you think Kronos did to Riley? Janos' tone sounded bitter as he said, I don't know. He said, I don't know if Kronos took over Riley's mind or just her body or how he did it. Janos said, I don't know if just talking to you puts me at risk of being put under the same spell. Janos lifted his hand and pressed it against Luthor's cell wall. Janos lifted his hand and pressed it against Luthor's cell wall. An intricate glyph spread from underneath his palm along the wall. Janos said, still, I need to make a decision with the limited information I have because my daughter just stabbed herself and is dying behind an esoteric barrier that even the masters can't break.
That is, oh, no guys, this is so weird. Why would the time manipulator want this to happen though? Like what?
Luthor stepped backwards and shielded his eyes from the light as his cell began to open. Janos said, I could let you go to my daughter, Luthor, but that means I'd be giving Kronos, my worst enemy, exactly what he wants. He said, I'm sure you understand how I would feel about giving my enemy what he wants, Luthor. Janos said, just channel how you feel about making the Aurelium for this Celuran, or making the aura containers that increased Valdor's profits exponentially. Luthor dug one nail into his palm. Janos paused before he said, or I do nothing and let my daughter die. The cell opened and Luthor stood face to face with Janos. Janos is a tall man whose appearance is regal and masculine, with clean-cut short hair, muted greyish-green eyes, a strong jawline and smooth skin that didn't show his age. Luthor took another step back. I hope you opened the cell because you chose to let me go to Riley. Janos said, I could give my greatest enemy what he wants, let my daughter die, or... Janos lunged in and grabbed Luthor by the throat.
Oh!
He said, or, I can't kill you.
No.
Levitas Magnus, like air. Luthor's eyes widened as he didn't change into air.
This is not good.
Luthor tried to pry Janos' hand off his throat, but Janos' grip was firm and strong.
Let go of him, oh my gosh!
Gravitas summatus, calcium pur.
Can't you be revived anyway? What's this gonna do?
Luthor touched Janos' arms, but they didn't break. Luthor touched Janos' arms, but they didn't break. Janos began to squeeze Luthor's neck as he lifted him off the ground.
Let go!
Luthor began smashing Janos' face with the pocket watch. How is killing me going to save Riley? How is the watch face shattered and the glass cut Janos' face? Your connection is fading. Connection fading. Janos continued. Ellipsis. Squeeze Luthor's neck. Connection fading. Janos said, when, ellipsis, get revived, time, ellipsis, reversed.
Yeah, but like, I don't know, this isn't, I mean, I don't know if that works. How far would it be reversed though?
Connection fading. Janos said, my amulet will, ellipsis, me remember, ellipsis, happened. Maybe I get, ellipsis, Riley before all of, ellipsis, happens. Connection fading. Luthor's arms, ellipsis, to, ellipsis, side, the pocket. Connection fading. Luthor's arms, ellipsis, to, ellipsis, side, the pocket, ellipsis, fell to, ellipsis, ground. Connection fading. Janos tossed Luthor, ellipsis, the ground. Luthor gasped, ellipsis, breathless glass of the pocket watch reformed.
So it can repair itself? That's weird. That is weird.
Your connection is strong again. System message. Are you okay, Luthor? 1 of 3. Why did you break the pocket watch trying to live? If you die, I can't turn back time. Maybe we can't save Riley and Model 1 and you can't speak with the time manipulator. Why didn't your powers work on Janels? 3 of 3
The first one, I guess.
Are you okay? Are you okay, Luthor?
Are you okay? I guess that's, like, that is most important, you know? And also, why did this guy let you go?
Luthor continued to gasp for breath, but nodded. Luthor continued to gasp for breath, but nodded. Luthor looked over at the pocket watch before looking up at Janels. My pocket watch restored itself like you said, Janels. And if you kill me, time will be reversed, right? Why did you stop strangling me?
Yeah, what was the motives of that?
You said I can't die and you will remember the time reversal because of your royal amulet. So if you kill me, you could get to Riley before she stabs herself.
Mm-hmm.
Descriptive. So if you kill me, you could get to Riley before she stabs herself.
And like that other message said, we could get to Model 1 or whatever. Like that would be
Janels
helpful.
stood glancing down at Luthor. He said, I wish I could kill you. I wish it was that simple, but a Timecrest's revival isn't guaranteed.
It's not? Wait, it's not? Okay, well, I'm finding new things. I'm finding out new things as well because I don't know why, but I just kind of thought that it was. Okay, well, it's not.
So I could still die? Janels said, yes, and if you die, then Riley is dead for sure. Also, I've been tracking Timecrests long enough to know the time magic involved in a Timecrest's revival is unpredictable, sometimes with disastrous effects. He said, in other words, killing a Timecrest is mostly useless and makes things worse. Luthor coughed from the ground. There are other Timecrests besides me? Janels squeezed his hand like if he was still holding Luthor's neck as he said, but I do like that all Timecrests still feel pain. Luthor shook his head. Please don't choose to sit around while Riley dies. Janels dragged Luthor up from the ground and pushed him to High Commander Valdem. Janels said, go. Help my daughter. And if you can't help her, buy me some time to make sense of this situation at least.
Okay. I really hope that we can help Riley, because this seems genuinely bad. Like, very bad. And also, I don't know. Timecrest survival isn't guaranteed. Okay then, okay.
Luthor blinked as he looked at Janels. Janels looked at Valdem and said, High Commander will take you up the Sovereign Eye, but Kronos wants you alone with Riley for some reason.
This is weird. I don't know what is going on. The Time Manipulator person, I don't know if I like them. Like, first it was the weird messages, and now it's Riley. Like, I don't know, she didn't do anything wrong.
Luthor nodded. Thank you. Valdem nodded and started to drag Luthor out of the cell and into the hallway outside. My watch. Janels looked at the pocket watch and frowned. As Janels picked up the watch from the ground, he said, only one Timecrest is alive at a time, but after you finally die, Luthor, another Timecrest will be born. And as Janels picked up the watch from the ground, he said, only one Timecrest is alive at a time, but after you finally die, Luthor, another Timecrest will be born. And after that Timecrest dies, another will be born, and so on. Janels looked at the watch in his hand and said, more Timecrests will come as long as there are humans. Janels walked over and looked Luthor in the eye. He said, it took me a long time, a very long time, but I've finally come to the conclusion that the only way to save our world from Kronos Timecrest, the first human, the Time Manipulator, is to rid it of all humans, Luthor. Luthor looked back at Janels. Luthor looked back at Janels, speechless. Janels took out a dagger and held it out to Luthor. He said, take this dagger and kill me with it.
Say what?
Valdem said, my king. Janels said, High Commander, you will not stop Luthor if he wishes to kill me. If he stops, Janels said, High Commander, you will not stop Luthor if he wishes to kill me. If he stabs me with this dagger, you will let him walk out of here and pretend you didn't see anything. Valdem looked disturbed, but said nothing more. Janels said, come on, Luthor. I just told you that I want to kill all humans. That makes me evil. That makes me your enemy. So take this dagger and strike me down. Luthor turned his head away from the dagger. I can't do it. I can't even take the dagger and pretend like I'm going to kill you. Janels shook his head. He said, sadly, Kronos is not plagued by the same weakness as you. Janels said, remember that, Luthor. Even if you don't want to hurt Riley or kill people, Kronos is going to use you to do it. Luthor looked back at Janels and swallowed hard.
I mean, this guy wasn't lying before, but like, I don't know. Like, if this is the guy that Luthor wanted to talk to, I don't know. I don't know if he should keep going for that. I don't know.
Janels pressed the watch into Luthor's hand and Valdem dragged the stunned Luthor out of the cell and away from the king. The hallway that Valdem dragged Luthor down was made completely of beryllium, with number windows and light provided by glowstones. Valdem frowned at the pocket watch in Luthor's hand. He said, close it. The High Mage called out in an incredulous tone, High Commander Valdem, what are you doing with my prisoner? Luthor and Valdem looked at High Mage Val Elder as he approached them from down the hall. Valdem said, "By order of King Janos, Luthor Timecrest is in my custody now." The High Mage paused before he said, "Luthor Timecrest needs to be punished for possessing illegal human technology. Or do we not care about our own rules anymore?" Valdem dragged Luthor past High Mage Val Elder. The High Mage teleported in front of Valdem and blocked his way. The High Mage sneered and said, "I am a High Mage of Valdor. I am your elder, Sita Valdem. I served our king." The High Mage sneered and said, "I am a High Mage of Valdor. I am your elder, Sita Valdem. I served our king's father. I served his grandfather. You don't just get to brush past me like that." The High Mage said, "Tell me why our king is so interested in this human boy and who exactly is this Time Manipulator Kronos Timecrest?" Luthor's eyes widened as he looked at the High Mage. Valdem said, "High Mage Val Elder, you should go rest." Valdem said, "We believe you have been possessed by Kronos Timecrest and that is why you let Luthor into the trials today. Our king will speak with you again soon."
That kind of makes sense. Like, especially with the stuff with the inner battle and all earlier, where, like, you know, that kind of makes sense, but it's also weird and what and why? And, like, that makes sense with the message as well, where he was like, everything's going to plan. Like, this is so weird, guys. I'm sorry for not talking much, but I don't even know what to say. Like, everything is just weird and scrambled and, what?
Why? What does Kronos have to gain from my participation in the trials?
Exactly.
Seething, the High Mage said, "I was not possessed. Who could possibly be powerful enough to possess me?" The High Mage looked around as if he expected someone to support his statement. He glanced briefly at Luthor before he said, "Is this Kronos Timecrest a human?" Because Luthor... The High Mage looked around as if he expected someone to support his statement. He glanced briefly at Luthor before he said, "Is this Kronos Timecrest a human?" Because if he is, then it would be even more impossible for me to be possessed by him. Luthor murmured to himself, "Why did Kronos want me to participate in the trials?" The High Mage said, "Is this King Janos' ploy to remove my title from me?" The High Mage said, "I spent my whole life serving this empire. I would die for this empire. The High Mage said, "I spent my whole life serving this empire. I would die for this empire. For everything I have done, I hope our king can't stop punishing me for advising his father to marry him off." Valdem said, "Enough. You will not speak about our king in this manner. Now step aside, High Mage Val Elder, or you will be punished for treason."
This is kind of interesting to watch, heated arguing.
The High Mage's mouth dropped. He said, "Treason. Merciful magic. What have I done exactly to warrant being charged with treason?" The High Mage's tone was high-pitched, his face sour, but he did step aside, letting Valdem pass with Luthor. The High Mage said with a bitter tone, "Can you at least tell me why I was told to imprison Luthor in our Aurelium cell block? And why we built this whole block for him?" Valdem continued
What?
to drag Luthor without looking back.
Wait, you built a whole cell block for Luthor? What?
They neared the end of the hallway. System message, system. "I'm so worried about Riley, Luthor. Let's focus on saving her. I'll be here to help you both if needed. One of two. Why did you want Luthor to participate in the trials? Red text person. 2 of 2.
Oh no, I want to focus on Riley, but I also...
What?
I'll ask the second one for
Messages.
now.
Responded, "Why did you want Luthor to participate?" Your message was not transmitted to the red text person.
Oh, okay,
Luthor murmured. Red text person.
Yeah, long story.
Valdem glanced at Luthor and said, "Did you say something?"
Yes.
Luthor shook his head.
Red text person. No, that must have sounded so weird to him.
Valdem frowned at the pocket watch in Luthor's hand. He said, "Close that cursed thing before we go outside of the Aurelium." Valdem frowned at the pocket watch in Luthor's hand. He said, "Close that cursed thing before we go outside of the Aurelium. The Aurelium helps block out Kronos' powers of observation."
That must be why my message didn't go through. Okay.
Luthor blinked. That's why Janos wanted so many Aurelium rooms built in his palace.
That makes sense too. That's weird though. I don't know.
Valdem said, "The Aurelium should block out Kronos' powers of observation."
Weird.
Luthor glanced at Valdem. "You don't sound so sure." Valdem said, "Luthor, get Kronos to lower the barrier around Princess Riley and I'll do the rest." Valdem forced Luthor's fingers to press down on the watch lid. System message, connection lost. 4 minutes 44 seconds. Descriptive.
Okay, 5 minutes. That was insane. That guy carving a T into the cell like it was nothing. Then him going insane and almost basically killing guards. And then Janos, like, just being there and revealing all this stuff about the pocket watch and all. And then the red text person slash the Time Manipulator slash Chronos slash whatever his name is at this point, can't see through Irelium. Okay then,
System message. Connection lost. The pocket watch clicked open.
okay.
Luthor stood on the top landing of the Sovereign Eye. The night sky was overcast and the wind howled. A large vision mirror covered the top landing. Luthor paused for a moment as he looked down at what the eye was broadcasting. The eye showed the quarantine's own Luthor lived in. Panning through the location, Luthor could see the building that his family lived in. Riley lay face down on the vision mirror, blood pooling around her. A red barrier surrounded her.
Oh my gosh! Oh my...
Luthor ran over to Riley and pounded on the surrounding barrier. Riley, I'm here. Please wake up. Riley stirred and she lifted her head from the ground, her eyes narrowly open.
Riley, oh my gosh!
Riley said, Luthor, am I dreaming?
No. No, you're not.
I'm here, Riley. I came alone as you asked. Tell me what I need to do to get inside this barrier. Riley's eyes popped open as she said, Luthor, no, ellipsis, you shouldn't have come. Your father and High Commander Valdem told me you asked for me. Descriptive. Your father and High Commander Valdem told me you asked for me. Descriptive help, button. Riley looked at Luthor, her expression tortured. She shook her head and said, No. I don't know why I asked for that. I really shouldn't have asked for that.
What? What?
Riley frantically looked around her, sweeping her hands over the ground, smearing blood all over the image of the quarantine zone. She bit her lip as blood gushed out of her wound, but she didn't do anything to stop her
Oh
bleeding.
my gosh!
Riley, keep pressure on your wound.
Come on.
Riley said, It's not here. It's not here anymore.
What?
Descriptive. Riley said, It's not here. What are you looking for, Riley? If I help you find it, will you press your hand against your wound? Riley said, The weapon. The weapon I used to stab myself with. I can't find it anymore.
What? You want the weapon? Oh my gosh!
Luthor's eyes widened. Why do you need the weapon,
Yeah.
Riley? Descriptive. Why do you need the weapon, Riley?
This is so weird, guys. Like, what?
The wind howled, blowing Luthor's hair and clothes wildly about, but the red barrier surrounding Riley shielded the inclement weather, and inside it, everything is calm. Riley gulped and covered her face with her hands as she sat in her pool of blood, trembling. System message. Luthor, just wanted to let you know I'm here. Don't let Riley die. One of 3 responses. Red text person. Why are you doing this to Riley? And would it help if I asked you to stop? Why did you want Luthor to participate in the trials? Red text person. Red text
Hopefully my message goes through this time.
person. Why are you doing this to Riley? And would it help if I asked you to stop?
Please
Red
stop. Please. Like, what is the point of this?
responded. Red message. Your message was received. Red message. Your message was not transmitted to Luthor. Descriptive help.
Oh my gosh. He wouldn't even answer my question.
Red message. Your message was not. It's okay, Riley. Everything is going to be okay. We just need to do something about your wound or you're going to die.
Yeah, very assuring words, Luthor.
I remember you said you wanted to study with a healer. Did you learn anything that could help? Riley shook her head. Riley shook her head. Her face still buried in her hands. Riley mumbled, I want to die.
No. Why'd you want to die?
What? Riley lowered her hands, streaking her face with blood. She said, Riley lowered her hands, streaking her face with blood. She said, I want to die, Luthor. Luthor shook his head. Listen to me, Riley. This isn't you talking. Someone has taken control of you and is making you say these things. You need to keep pressure on your wound while I figure out a way to lower this barrier. Riley said, No, this is me. I wanted to kill myself on the day you were quarantined, Luthor.
What?
Luthor's eyes widened. Riley said, On the day you were quarantined, Luthor, I came up to the Sovereign Eye to kill myself.
Oh my gosh.
Riley's blood continued to spread on the image of the quarantine zone. She said, Did you know that my mother refused to have another child with my father to protect me?
Well,
She said, My mother was afraid that my father would give up on me as soon as she gave him another child who might inherit the Valdorian throne.
that is... Oh my gosh.
She said, My mother was afraid. Descriptive help. But she said, My mother was Riley said, On the day you and your family were quarantined, I came up the Sovereign Eye to jump off and kill myself because both my mother and father's lives and the future of the Valdorian Empire would be better without me.
That's... Oh no, Riley. That's... That's too harsh. You didn't do anything. You don't deserve to die.
Riley. Maybe you wanted to die back then, but I can't watch you die. Please. Maybe you wanted to die back then, but I can't watch you die. Please don't make me watch you die. Riley said, when I was coercing myself to jump, I saw you through the sovereign eye. Riley said, you were standing on the rooftop of your building too, and for a moment, I thought you were there to kill yourself like me. She said, I couldn't take my eyes off you. If you jumped out, Riley said, when I was She said, I couldn't take my eyes off you. If you jumped, I would have jumped. Riley shook her head. Riley said, but you didn't jump. Riley smiled and said, instead, you looked in the direction of the Valdorian Empire and smiled. Riley smiled and said, instead, you looked in the direction of the Valdorian Empire and smiled. From the sovereign eye, it seemed like, ellipsis, you were looking at me, ellipsis, it seemed like you were smiling at me. She said, in that moment, I finally felt that I wasn't alone. Riley said, I promised myself that day that I'll do anything to set you free.
That's really sweet, oh my gosh.
Riley bit her bottom lip and tilted her head and looked up at the sky. Then live. You have to live if you're going to set me free. Tell me. Then live. You have to live if you're going to set me free. Tell me how to get rid of this barrier. She said, I'm sorry, Luthor. I'm weak. Riley said, I'm too weak to stop you from endangering yourself in the trials. I'm too weak to give you what you want. Riley said, if I could just make my father happy and inherit the Valdorian throne, then I could actually help humans. She said, but instead of focusing on my studies and getting stronger, all I can think about is the next time I'm going to see you, Luthor. Riley said, now my father is considering remarrying and I don't blame him. I can't even protect one boy, let alone a whole empire. Riley dug her hand into her wound. She screamed in pain.
Oh my gosh, Riley, no!
Riley said, someone as weak as me doesn't deserve to be alive.
No, that's so harsh. Don't kill yourself.
Luthor pounded on the barrier. Kronos, if this is you, what do you want? I'll do... Kronos, if this is you, what do you want? I'll do anything. Leave... Kronos, if this is you, what do you want? I'll do anything. Leave Riley alone. Riley stood up. She wobbled, but then steadied herself. She said, Luthor, I can't even ignore this voice inside my head. Ellipsis. She started scratching her arms furiously, before cupping her head with both hands.
That is... no. What?
Riley said, I can't ignore this voice in my head. Ellipsis. Telling me. Ellipsis. Telling me that I should kill you. Riley continued to scratch her body. She said, Luthor, run. Get away from me. I can't ignore this urge much longer. I want to kill you. I want to push you off this tower and kill you.
This is... This can't be Riley. This has to be the red text guy. Stop. Stop it. Stop it. This is literally a kid. She's literally a kid.
Luthor's hands dropped to his side. So that's it? If that's all that you want, Kronos, then it's fine. I was going to do it anyways. Luthor ran around the red barrier, to the edge of the sovereign eye. Lower the barrier around Riley, Kronos, and I'll jump. I promise I'll kill myself.
I don't know if that's...
Riley's eyes widened. She continued to scratch herself furiously, but she choked out. Luthor, what are you saying? You can't. Don't die, Luthor. Don't worry, Riley. I'm at Timecrest. Even if I die, I think I have the ability to come back to life.
Not for sure. Like, oh my gosh.
Riley shook her head and said, that's crazy talk. No one can come back from the dead. Luthor stood facing Riley and with his back towards the ledge of the eye. He took a step backwards, almost tipping over the edge.
No, I don't know if this is the right thing to do or not.
Kronos, lower the barrier and I'll jump off. The red barrier around Riley disappeared. Luthor sighed in relief as High Commander Valdor burst forth from the entrance to the top landing of the eye and hurried over to Riley.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay, at least Riley is safe. Don't... I mean... You can stop now, Luthor. You can stop.
He nodded at Luthor before seizing Riley into his arms. He nodded at Luthor before seizing Riley into his arms. Riley squirmed and said, let me go, Luthor. System message, Luthor is waiting. Yay, Luthor, you did it. What you said worked. I'm so relieved Riley is okay. One of two, look at what Kronos is doing to Riley. Maybe Janos is right about him. Do you really want to talk to the person who hurt Riley like this? Because after this, I don't know if I want to.
I want to say the second one, because I've kind of been saying it the whole time. Like, this guy is actually insane. Riley is literally a kid. Riley is literally a kid, and he's just, like, controlling her and trying to make her do, like, literally horrible stuff.
Responded, if I have to die to help Riley, I will.
You don't have to, though. Like, she's just... I mean, she just... The barrier is gone. You can just stop.
Luthor paused. But I also choose to die because I need to speak with Kronos.
Do you really, though? Do you? Like...
And if it works, I hope we'll speak to him together. But even if you're not there, this is something I need to do for myself.
Oh my...
Rain began to fall, mixing with the blood that had been pooling on the eye and spreading it across the images of the quarantine zone. Okay, time to keep my end of the bargain.
Oh my... No, I don't...
Luthor turned around and looked over the ledge of the eye. Luthor turned around and looked over the ledge of the eye. His eyes ran down the length of the tower, taking in its height. Luthor took a deep breath and squeezed the pocket watch. He smiled as the glow of the watch pulsated in the darkness of the storm. Luthor murmured, I told you that the glow of the pocket watch gave me back my life after I killed Lieutenant Zone Valdor. That wasn't the only time it saved me. On the day I was quarantined, I saw the glow from the pocket watch for the first time. I didn't receive any messages, but the glow still gave me hope that there was something else out there to hope for. The glow made me smile defiantly at Valdor that day. I thought it was the real Time Manipulator. But maybe it was you. The same blue glow emanates from the watch when you message me. So maybe you were the one who saved 2 lost kids that day. System message, yeah, that's me. At least I hope it was me. 1 of 2 I'm not sure it was me, Luthor. 2 of 2
I'll say the second one, because I genuinely don't know if it was me.
I would like to think it's you. It feels like you. Descriptive help, it feels like you. Luthor placed the pocket watch in his inner jacket pocket and glanced over his shoulders.
I don't think this is the right thing to do.
Valdor tended to Riley's wound, healing it, as she continued to struggle in his arms. Riley screamed, Stop! Stop! Luthor! Luthor closed his eyes and stepped off the ledge.
Well, it's done now. There's no going back at this point. I don't know, guys. I don't know if this is a good idea at all. Like, I don't know. I genuinely don't know if I want to talk to this guy.
A large mechanical bird descended from the sky. The mechanical bird swooped down and caught Luthor on its back.
Oh my gosh!
Luthor looked up to see Patora, sitting on the bird's back. You came. But you're a little late. Patora said, I saved your life. I arrived on time. Unless you have information about the Time Manipulator, I'm dying tonight. Patora said, my orders are to help you. I can't take you. Patora said, my orders are to help you. I can't take you to my master if you want information. The mechanical bird ascended. I'm going to die tonight, Patora. I'm going to die tonight, Patora. I already decided.
Why is he so certain on this? Why?
Patora frowned. In an angry tone, she said, Don't make me stuff you in a metal box. I don't think you can. I think your solid thoughts can only form one object at a time. If you stuff me in a box, this bird will disappear along with your escape plan. Patora's frown deepened. Patora's frown deepened. She said, Don't you want to meet my master? You're too late, Patora. The bird descended past the ledge of the sovereign eye. Luthor's eyes widened when he saw Riley, with her body covered in pulsating red veins, standing over Valdem's body.
Riley? What?
Valdem lay gravely injured beneath her, unconscious.
Oh my gosh! Oh my... He was literally trying to help her! I actually feel bad!
You are too late. Patora reached out her hand to Luthor, but it was too late. Luthor jumped off the bird. Patora said, Lucinitus Ultimus, solid. Before she could finish, Riley shot out a red bolt of lightning that struck Patora and sent her and her bird spiraling down towards the landing of the sovereign eye.
What?
Luthor's eyes widened as Riley came dashing over the edge of the eye. She smiled at him as she descended rapidly. The red veins faded from her body. Levitas Magnus, upstream. Gusts of wind appeared beneath Riley, pushing her upwards, but she said, Evolantis. Riley's translucent wings took her around Luthor's spell. Riley, you have to live. You're stronger than I am. My smile faded
come on,
while yours
Riley,
remained.
No. She can't be revived. She can't.
Riley, fly back up. Riley.
Please.
Riley flew closer to Luthor before cancelling her spell and resuming her fall with him. Kronos, I understand why you orchestrated my participation in the trials. You wanted me to realize I don't just want to talk to you. I need to talk to you.
How did that make you do that?
I desire to see what lies beyond this world, and I can't do that without your help. I see that now. That's why I jumped. I have no regrets about dying now. There's no need for you to control Riley anymore. Riley said, "This is me, Luthor." "No, this isn't you, Riley. You still had the red veins all over your body after you jumped." Riley said, "If you want to die, then I'm going to die with you. Because No, Riley said, "If you want to die, then I'm going to die with you. Because the reason I smile is you." Riley smiled and said, "I don't want to kill you anymore, Luthor." Ellipsis. "I'm so happy those thoughts have left my head." Ellipsis. Tears streamed from Riley's face and blended with the falling rain. Tears streamed from Riley's face and blended with the falling rain. She touched her face and said, "Crying when I'm happy feels good." Ellipsis. Riley. Janos faced next to a falling Riley, catching her.
Oh my gosh, Janos, yes! Yes, thank goodness, because Riley can't revive herself. Like, she can't die. That would actually, I would feel so bad.
Riley said, "Father?" Janos froze for a moment. Luthor looked up. Janos. Luthor smiled as Janos. Janos narrowed his eyes. Janos. Luthor looked on with Janos froze for a moment. Luthor looked on with surprise as Janos started dropping with Riley. Janos. Janos. What are you doing? Janos narrowed his eyes at Luthor, seeming to have snapped out of a daze. Luthor smiled as Janos phased away with Riley. "Thank you, King Janos." Luthor turned himself around in the air so he is facing the direction of the ground. Luthor pressed his hand on the spot of his jacket where the pocket watch is sitting behind. "Listen, if I don't get a chance to say this, thank you for everything too."
I mean, you're welcome, I guess, but, I don't know. This is a big step to take, I guess. Like, I don't know if dying is the right thing, but I can't stop you, literally, so.
You stuck around. And I do feel like I can talk to you. Luthor closed his eyes as the ground neared. "I can't look. I'm sure I need to do this, but I'm scared that I don't know what I've gotten myself into."
Me too, honestly. I don't know if this was the right decision, but, again, too late to change your minds.
I would say this is the ultimate experiment, with a potentially fatal cost, and I'm scared of what the results will be. Luthor was quiet for a moment. "I'm sorry, Ash. I haven't forgotten about the scar I left on your hand. I don't know what's going to happen to me after I die, but I'll try my best to make it back to you. I'm sorry, Mum and Dad. But High Mage Valdor is right. This world is not made for me. System message, this is it. I wonder what will happen after you die. I hope I get to save you with turn back time. I hope we both get to speak to the Time Manipulator finally. Regardless of what happens though, I'm here for you, Luthor. One of two. Don't think like that, Luthor. This world will be sad without you. I know you want to die, but I think it's a huge risk. Kronos could be trying to trick you. At least live long enough to say goodbye to your family before you die, Luthor. 2 of 2.
I mean, this decision, Luthor can't really do anything about this much. I mean, no, actually he can. He can use his upstream spell. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Alert. Response changed.
This thing, no! No, I'm actually so annoyed this time. Guys, I don't want to say this guy's cryptic messages.
A magic has come over the option and highlighted certain letters in your choice red. The rest of the letters fade out, revealing a hidden message. Okay.
I don't want this hidden message.
I haven't forgotten about shop. Mute pot disc vertical. Magic has changed your message to be read and say, "This world is not good enough for you." Button.
That's so mean. Oh my gosh. That's so mean.
This magic has alert. Response changed. A magic has come over the option and okay.
Please say this changed it to something else.
Notices. Mute pot disc. Magic has changed your message to be read and say, "This world is not good enough for you." Button.
That's so mean. Oh my gosh, guys. I don't want to click this. I feel so bad.
Magic has changed your message.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, Luthor. I'm sorry.
Responded. "This world is not good enough for you."
Oh my, I feel so bad. That's so mean.
Luthor received the message. "This world is not good enough for you."
That's so mean.
Luthor's eyes widened.
I'm sorry, that's so mean. Oh my gosh.
Kronos.
Okay, at least he knows it's not me, but still. That's a very mean thing to say, Kronos.
Luthor is dead.
That's the last thing he saw? That's the last thing he saw before he freaking died. I don't know why, guys, but I just feel so bad. Like, that's such a mean thing to say. Oh my gosh, I actually feel so bad.
System message. Luthor is waiting.
I mean, I know I didn't want to say it, and, like, I couldn't really do anything otherwise, but, like, that's so mean.
Turn back time. The response shimmers green, indicating magical power. One of what descriptive.
Okay then, guys. I think I'll have to end the video here. This was kind of worse than the trials for, like, in some ways. Like, it was just dark, and I genuinely don't think I want to talk to this Kronos person. Like, he made, like, Riley, a child, want to kill her best friend, and then, like, injure, like, the person who was trying to take care of her. And then Janaz was there, and guys, I don't know who's right, who's wrong, who to trust anymore. Like, I guess the only thing we can do is see what happens. Wonder what would happen if I didn't press turn back time, but not gonna do that. Okay. If you enjoyed this video, you know, hit the thumbs up, you know, button, and I don't know, press subscribe and turn on the notification bell to become a fellow Timecrestian so that you get notified when we upload new videos, and see you guys next time. Comment if you want to talk to Kronos.